Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to go over the parts of a computer, namely the front parts, or the ones you interact with. So I will let you know ahead of time there's quite a bit of information in this video. It is a little bit on the long side, so if you want to take a moment before we get started, pause the video and grab something to take notes on. So just keep in mind as well that you can rewind the video, you can start over if you need to, or pause to grasp information. So I'm going to get started here. What we will be learning, and I will go over this in the next video as well, as that will be the back. So here we'll be learning the computer tower, important buttons, what is your mouse, your keyboard, your monitor, speakers, CD, DVD drive, what are USB ports, what is FireWire, what are Ethernet ports, monitor ports, the power cable, and other important things. So, getting started here, the first thing is the computer tower. Now, I know we went over this a slight bit over what the desktop, laptop, and tablet is, but the computer tower would be what's considered the brain of the computer. It is the box that houses the components that make it work, and most of your wires will be connected to it. So you can see a tower circled in the top right there, and I have several other examples here as well. So there's an example here, there's an example here, here, and here. So I also want to note some incorrect or obsolete terms. You do not want to use mainframe or CPU. Those do not accurately describe this. Moving on, buttons. Now, when I'm talking about buttons, I'm talking about mainly power buttons, the reset button, not the buttons on your keyboard. So, first thing would be power buttons. They turn your computer and monitor on. They're only to be used for emergency off, and we'll explain that more in depth later. And they're usually indicated by this icon right here. Now they do not always have that, but if you see this symbol, that means power. So the reset button restarts the computer in an emergency, and usually, but not always, found near the power button. And then finally there's a button for your CD DVD tray. Basically, you hit the button, it opens a drawer like you see right here, and you can put your disc in and press the button and it closes. So really quickly here, right here I have circled the power button on the monitor. Right here we have a power button and a reset button for the computer. And way up here is the CD and DVD button. Next we have the mouse. The mouse is used to move the cursor, like you see moving around the screen now, on the monitor. Mice often work better with a mouse pad. So a mouse has buttons to press in order to select items with the cursor. And there's a few different types of mice that are still in use today. So there's laser mice, which, mind you, this is the bottom of the mouse here. It uses a little laser to see which way you're moving the mouse. There's a rollerball mouse, which uses this little ball here to sense what direction you're moving. And there's also a laptop touchpad, which we did go over slightly previously. However, this is one close up. You see you have buttons just like on a regular mouse, and you would use your finger here to control where the mouse cursor is going. So next, we have a keyboard. I figured this one would be fairly obvious, but this is a panel of keys that allows you to type words, numbers, and etc. onto the computer. They do vary by region, so if you were to go to a different country, a different part of the world, you might come across a keyboard that looks very different than the one you're looking at now. And keyboards can be wired, or they can be wireless and run on batteries to connect to your computer. We have the monitor. This is the screen you're looking at. There's two general types of a monitor. So there's a flat panel, They look kind of like a flat screen TV. Then there's CRTs, which look like the really big old tube TVs. So I have several of them here. This one would be a flat screen or a flat panel. This is also a flat panel, and so is this one. However, I did throw a CRT in here. This bottom one right here is a CRT monitor. Now, one important note is a monitor is not a TV. So you don't want to call it a TV, call it your monitor, call it your computer screen, but don't call it a TV. Now we have speakers as well. They emit the sound produced by the computer. They can be sometimes embedded in the monitor, so sometimes they'll come as one unit. More sophisticated units can have multiple speakers for surround sound, so instead of having 2, you might have 5. Kind of like this guy right here that actually has 7. So also, speakers usually turn on and off independently from the computer. What that means is, even if you turn your computer off, you still have to press a separate button to turn your speakers off. Now continuing. Final one for this video is the CD, DVD, or Blu-ray player. These drives read information on CDs, DVDs, and some computers can also read Blu-ray discs. Discs they read can contain audio, video, or data. And these drives can play discs from earlier technologies, but not technologies newer. So what I mean is if you have a CD drive, then it cannot play DVD or Blu-ray discs. If you have a DVD drive, you can play CDs, but not Blu-rays. And the Blu-ray, being the newer technology, can play all of the older ones, being DVD and CDs. I hope this helped you out a little bit at least, maybe helped you understand what some of these parts are. And in the next video, we're going to go over the back. So it will also be kind of a long video, but just be prepared, and I hope to see you then.